Denise, and this is Marianne Warren. She's 34 years old. She's being seen at Inpatient Behavioral Psych Center. She has a main diagnosis of alcohol addiction and comorbidities of anxiety and PTSD. And today is her second day here. So good morning, Marianne.
Morning.
How are you today?
Okay.
Okay. How was your first night here?
Not bad.
Not bad? Have you been able to meet anyone in your unit yet?
The girl next door to my right.
Is that Beth?
Beth.
Yeah, she's great. Well, I understand, based on what we talked about yesterday, that you can get a little bit nervous in new places, which is totally understandable because I get nervous in new places too. But you're going to get to know people while you're here. You're here for a couple weeks. You'll get to meet all the staff. They're really nice and they can help you, and you'll get to meet the other residents that are here too. Do you have any questions before we get started? Okay, so the first thing I want to do today is this lovely scale. We call it the emotion rating scale. You probably received this in your folder yesterday when you got here. This is something that everybody at our center uses. We use it every single day. All of our residents will just give us a number from 1 to 10, and that lets us know where they're at that day. And just so we're clear, a 1 means that you're feeling absolutely terrible. 10 means that you're feeling so great, you're so excited to be here.
Okay.
So what would you rate today?
3.
Okay. And is there a reason why you're choosing a 3 today?
I'm just not sure how to feel about being here.
Okay.
It's just it's a lot.
And it is only your second day here. So I'm really confident that you'll be able to raise this number throughout your time here. So we'll use this again tomorrow, but for today you're all set with that. So next we're going to complete something called the role checklist. This is a really easy way for me to see what's important to you so that we can make goals for you throughout your time here. So there are 2 parts. The first part is going to let us figure out what roles you've participated in the past, the present, and the future. Would you prefer to do this as an interview, or would you like to fill them out?
I can fill it out.
Okay, so what I'll have you do is fill out the top portion first, with your name and age. And go ahead and fill out the second part. Okay, so like I said, what you're going to do here is just check the boxes. So the first one is student. So if you participated before last week, that would be the past, so you would check that. If you participated within the last week, that's the present, so you'll check that box. And then the future would be any time in the future that you'd like to participate. So you can check all 3 if that role fits in all 3 categories. Okay. So you can start with student.
Just the past.
Present.
Hopefully the future. What if I have never done it, won't do it ever? Like
For
volunteering.
volunteer,
Or
you've
caregiving.
never volunteered?
No.
Okay, you can leave that blank.
What about caregiver?
If that's the same thing, you can skip over that.
Okay. Home maintainer in the past and hopefully the future. Friend, past, present, future. Family member, past, totals, stuff. Guest, past, future. Organization.
And then at the bottom, there's a section for you to write in anything else that wasn't listed above.
Great.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think this covers everything.
Okay. So the back page is kind of similar. There's 3 boxes. This time you're going to check how valuable that role is to you. It's from not at all valuable to somewhat valuable or very valuable. And you're going to go through all the roles. Do you have any questions about this part? Okay, we can get started.
Student, that's not really that valuable. That's very valuable. Volunteer, no.
So I'd like to just look this over with you to see that we're both thinking the same thing when we're looking at this. So the first one is student. I know we had talked yesterday, you went to college, that's kind of over for you.
Yeah.
So that's just in the past. So what I'd like to do is just highlight all the ones that you consider to be important for your future. So the first one is worker. Can you tell me a little bit about your job?
I am a manager at a bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically train people that come in and restock books and bookstore stuff.
What's your favorite part about your job?
I don't know, it's kind of rewarding when you give someone a book that they enjoy reading.
And is there anything you don't like about your job?
Recently it's been feeling really overwhelming,
Okay.
so I don't really like that.
So how have your symptoms impacted your job?
Well, sometimes I don't show up to work on time because I sleep in too late from being out too late the night before.
Right.
And sometimes I might leave work early so I can get to the store.
And when you say store, is that the liquor store?
Yeah.
So the next one is home maintainer that you would like to do in your future. Can you tell me about what you have to do as a home maintainer?
Just like cleaning and doing the dishes and having a clean house.
Okay. And how have your symptoms impacted that role?
Well, I kind of just don't do anything. Like my bed's clean because that's where I spend most of my time when I get home. Maybe on the couch is fine too, but everything else is just kind of a mess.
Okay.
So I don't really want it to be like that once I get out of here.
We have a group here called Healthy Habits, and the purpose of this group is to get back into your routine and learning how to cope with the symptoms you have, but being able to do things like home maintaining. So that's something that I think I'm going to recommend that you attend while you're here.
That sounds good.
So next is friend. Can you tell me a little bit about your role as a friend?
Well, I have two friends, Brett and Kathy, and they're basically my family, so that's my role.
So it seems like they're a really good support system for you.
Yeah.
I think I met Margaret yesterday when we came in. And I'm not sure if anyone told you yet, but we do have a program where your friends and family from home can come visit on Fridays. So that's something that you could definitely talk to them about to incorporate them in your time here. And the last one is hobbies. What are some of your hobbies?
Well, coincidentally, working in a bookstore, I like to read, and I enjoy art.
And what do you like about art?
I don't know, it's just like interesting. It's a skill I don't really have, but I like to go to museums and look at it.
That's fun. We have a self-expression and art group. It's actually starting right after this. That's a group that you get to work on different projects. You'll get to meet people who are staying here who also enjoy art. Would you be interested in going with me?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, how many people are going to be there?
It's usually 5 to 10. It's a pretty small group, depending on the day who comes. Okay, the last part for us to look at is what you rated as very valuable. So the first one I see is worker. And this is at the bookstore?
Yes.
Okay. And do you want to continue working at the bookstore after you leave here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And the last one is friend, which we've already talked about, but can you tell me a little bit about how your symptoms have impacted being a friend?
They don't really come to visit me that much anymore because they didn't really like it when I was drinking, but I don't really like to go out because it's just too much. It's very overwhelming for me
Right.
to be out in like a crowded place and seeing concerts and everything. I just don't have it in me.
Well, maybe we could work on adapting the way you meet your friends so that you don't have to go out in such a crowded space.
Okay.
So that's something we can work on too. Is there anything you'd like to add to this Okay, both of these will be kept in your folder. They're available for you to look at any time if you'd like to reflect on where you were when you first got here. So you told me yesterday that you're really interested in writing and reading. So I'd like to give you this journal, and you can use this while you're here as a way to express yourself. This is personal to you, so you don't have to share it with everyone, but if you want to, you can share it with the group or myself or any of the other staff while you're here. Do you have any questions about that? Okay, well, we're gonna go to group. This is a new scene. We're at group now. So hello everyone. I would like to introduce Marianne to the group. She just got here yesterday and she's really interested in art, so she's going to be joining our group. And Marianne, this is Brittany. She lives in the room right across the hall from you, which is great. So before we get started, I just want to remind you that the purpose of our self-expression in art group is to work on a leisure activity that you all enjoy and to also work on further developing your social skills, which I know is something we can all work on. So today, you guys are going to be completing a drawing project, and it's called House Tree Person. So I have two options for you. You can either do your drawing on paper with colored pencils or markers, or I have an iPad that you can use as well. What would you like, Mary Ann?
Can I draw with the iPad?
Sure. How about you, Brittany?
I like the iPad.
So before we get started, let me just set this up for you, Mary Ann. Have you used this before?
I've used an iPad before, but I don't know about the app.
Okay. Well, this is a really cool app. It's just like drawing on a piece of paper, but it's on the iPad. So you're going to use the stylus. Use that end right there. And you're just going to grab a piece of paper. You can use different colors. You can switch the colors. There are pens, markers, and paintbrushes. So you can choose whichever one you'd like to use, and then there's an eraser too if you want to switch anything. Are you good, Brittany? Okay. So we're going to get started, and I'd like you all to draw a picture of a house as well as you can.
Any house?
Any house you'd like. As many colors as you want. What house are you drawing, Brittany?
My house that I grew up in.
What about you, Mary?
Same thing.
I like the path, that's pretty cool.
So who lived in your houses when you were growing up?
My family is my mom, my dad, and my brother, and me.
I have a brother too.
Let's see.
I like these two a couple years older.
And where did you guys grow up?
Yeah, Coolidge Town, you know, the big small.
Mm-hmm. I've been there before. What about you, Mary? So when you're done with your picture, just let me know and we'll go on to the next part. Marianne, I'm just going to save yours on here so we have it for later. So if you want to switch to a new paper, next I'm going to have you draw a tree as well as you can. And it can be any type of tree you'd like. So the nice thing about this app is that you can save these pictures. And I can print them for you if you'd like, and you can bring them back to your room.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we can hang them on your walls and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so
That's right.
white coloring walls.
I like your clouds, Rachel.
Thanks.
So when you're done with your tree, you can flip to your last piece of paper. And on this one, I'd like you to draw a person, and you can choose any person you'd like. Who are you drawing, Marianne?
I think myself.
Joe. What other projects would you guys like to do in this group? Different art projects. We do a painting.
I would like that too.
Like on canvas or something.
Those supplies. Have you ever done clay projects?
I think I did in high school, but I don't know.
We have a couple of those too, and we have some ceramic ones. So once you're done with your drawing of your person, you can go ahead and put all your pictures together, and we're gonna have a time for you to share with the group. So we'll start with the house picture. So Brittany, I'll have you go first. Can you tell us about your picture?
So I got a thing when I was down here, just as my house that I grew up in, and it just reminds me of being happy and being on my family.
I had a red door.
Yeah, my dad really liked the red door.
And what did this house mean to you?
Just happiness and memories that I got.
Marianne, can you share with us, please?
This is my childhood home, and it was good for a while growing up, but then it wasn't so good. I don't really want to talk about it.
Okay, that's fine. So now we'll go to the tree picture. So if you'd like to share, Brittany.
This is just a tree, and it's kind of like the trees that we have in our yard when I grew up, and next to some birds and clouds, because I like the nature, so.
So it's nice.
Clouds on mine too. This is a willow tree, and it's kind of like the tree that I would go to in the park with my mom. And we would just like have a picnic and stuff.
There's a lot of shade from that.
So now you can pull out your last picture. And can you tell us a little bit about yours, Brittany?
This is me, and I drew a dress because I like to dress up, but I can't really go on here, so I want to get back to looking healthy and just being looking nice.
That's also me. And I have my arms crossed in school because I'm like strong and independent, and keep being like that. And I think that's it.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. So I printed out your pictures, Marianne, so you can take these home with you or back to your room with you, and you can decorate with them. You can look at them later. But what I really want you girls both to do tonight is look over this article that I have for you both. This is a really interesting article that talks about what your drawings say about you. So you each drew the house, the tree, and the person. So there's sections in this article that say, based on how you drew your house, what does that say about you? So I'm not saying this is all true. I want you guys to kind of look over it. You both have journals, so you can write down maybe things that you agree with, things that you don't really agree with, and then come back to group on Thursday and talk with us about what you found. you have any questions or anything? Okay, well, I'll give this to you and